Welcome to NFL Week 8 of the Sports Phenom Show, the best damn sports betting show on the planet, where you get all of my capping insight and picks on every game in under 30 minutes. No boring gibberish, only the main points that need to be said, and no commercials, just the way we like it. I am the owner of SportsBettingPhenoms.com, better known as the Phenom, World Series of Handicapping Champion. I run the only site on the planet where all of our cappers had to go through a rigorous qualifying process, all of which did so with at least a 60% record in unprecedented units of profits, max lines of minus 150, different tier levels based on each capper's performance, where all results are fully documented from day one, and all of our packages are 100% guaranteed to profit the way it should be. No one else offers what we do at more than fair pricing and unprecedented results you simply can't find anywhere else. Now to a quick recap of my results thus far. Overall, I continue to kick serious ass. Last 4 weeks. Listen to this record, folks. 36-17. That's 68% over my last 53 selections. And combined in my first 7 weeks of the season, an incredible, unprecedented 83 wins and only 46 losses. That's 64% over 129 selections. Who else can even come close? This is the best record on YouTube by far, and also the best record on the planet, folks. My only disappointment for week 7 was my money 5 that went 2-3. Easy blowout winners on Seattle and Baltimore. Not even close in both of those matchups. However, I was royally fucked, bamboozled to say the least, on the San Francisco loss. I mean, I had no way of knowing that Deebo Samuel wasn't going to start. Actually, he did start, but he got pulled out after, I think 3 snaps or something like that. Folks, do you realize how much of a game breaker this guy is and how important it was for him to be in this game against Kansas City? I think you all know that. I mean, to lose him after 3 damn snaps, not only does it wipe out probably around 20 to 30 of the plays you had ready for him, but you also lost a roster spot because he dressed and started. What, the best doctors this team has didn't know this guy's symptoms were that bad? I mean, 1 hour before game time, you didn't know that this guy potentially could have pneumonia? I mean, what the fuck? And okay, if you're going to start him, doctors made this decision. What, you don't have some sort of IV medication or whatever you have in those magic smelling salts we always see on TV to wake him the fuck up, at least for the very first half? This is my, come on, man, vent for this week. So yet again, Kansas fucking City catches a motherfucking break and gets gifted with another free win. No way I would have taken San Francisco had I known Deebo wasn't going to play. And if that all wasn't bad enough, San Francisco was still in this game even without him. And then Purdy proceeded to have a stinker. Well, definitely less than par for him anyways, up to his standards. And how about that ridiculous Patrick Mahomes touchdown? Oh my God, this made me want to absolutely vomit and pull my hair out. What an absolute joke that he's allowed to tippy the fuck toe down the friggin' sidelines, and the San Fran defenders are scared to hit him. For fuck's sakes, hit the motherfucker! If I was the defender, I would have fucking pummeled his ass. What the fuck? Are you scared? What are you scared of? If he's going to try and embarrass you, play that stupid rule to his advantage. I get it. It's fucked. The league does it so that he can fucking tippy the toe down the fucking sidelines. Well, then he deserves to be destroyed. Pummeled into oblivion. Think about it. I get it. I'm a KC hater. A lot of us are. But, man, if one of these San Fran defenders would have fucking pummeled his ass, I would have been jumping out of my recliner, loving every minute of that shit. And so would have every other Kansas City hater. Man, I would have paid that defender an extra $10K bonus. Bring back the bounty. Fuck this lame flag football shit. The NFL, which now stands for No Fun League, has become a pussy league. Nail that motherfucker! What the worst that can happen? What's the worst? What, a 15-yard penalty? Who gives a rat's shit? Who gives a rat's ass? Better than him embarrassing your ass with this tippy the fuck toe down the sidelines shit. Oh my. I just cannot tell you how much this pissed me off. And you know what? If you hit him, maybe it fires your team up a bit. And hey, who knows? Maybe Mahomes gets hurt. And he's out a snap or two. Would that be so bad? Why the fuck not? Man, I'm just so sick and tired of the horseshoe luck this Kansas City team gets away with. I can barely wait. Barely wait, folks, for somebody to pummel them. It's like they have some sort of voodoo fucking doll in the back room, these Kansas City Chiefs, man. And it's not just Mahomes, but I want somebody to smack their asses back down to earth. And if that wasn't bad enough, I hear today they're going to get DeAndre Hopkins. Come on. Really? Oh, how do they get away with all this? How do they pull these things off? It's just simply amazing. If I can add to that Deebo Samuel situation, yeah, I get it. He supposedly had fluids in his lungs and guy ended up being treated for pneumonia, as I said earlier. But I remember the days when you'd see players running on and off the field with broken arms, legs, collarbones, you name it, vomiting while they're running on and off the field. Big fucking deal. I played semi-pro soccer. You think I was going to fucking be taken out of the game if I fucking felt sick? Man, if I could fucking run, I'm playing. Now, as much as a little scratch these days, and some numb fuck doctor who earns a paycheck by taking him out of the game makes this fucking league, like I said, no fun league. Boring. Bring back the 70s and 80s. Fuck this no fun league. It sucks. You hear me? Roger fucking Goodell? Anyways, that is my vent of the week. Enough about that. I'm sure you all get my point. That game being the difference in a 3-2 versus 2-3 money 5 week. That's how passionate I am to win for you every single week. I also put San Francisco in that stupid teaser, which I shouldn't have did, which adds to my frustration. But whatever. It's water under the bridge. And I still have the best money 5 and overall records in the business. That is not something anybody can take away from me. Also, before I get to this week's picks, I want to give a shout out to those of you currently competing in my latest 100 play handicapping challenge on Twitter, or X, whatever you call it these days, at sports_phenoms. Honorable mention once again to our top challenger at Donald's 273.99. Again, at Donald's 273.99, who finished on top and has so since the beginning of this challenge. Currently with a record of 30 wins and only 13 losses. That's a 70% mark over 43 selections. I'm impressed, very impressed with what I've seen from at Donald's 273.99 thus far in this challenge. Congrats to you leading the pack. Excellent results, no doubt about that. You can follow him and the rest of the challenger plays on my Twitter profile. Again, at sports_phenoms. Make sure to give them a like and a follow. Nobody else does what we do in the business, folks. And this is why we are becoming the go-to service in the industry, doing it the right way. Now, let's get to this week's action, week number 8, and we start things off on Thursday night, Minnesota and the LA Rams. Right off the bat, this is my first of 5 Money 5 selections. And we have a perfect spot here to fade the Vikings. This should be a bit of a letdown spot for them after their first loss last week to the divisional rival Detroit Lions. Everybody and their grandmother will be on the Vikings here to rebound. Well, LA beat Vegas last week, and Cooper Kupp is healthy once again. If the Vikings were the play, they surely would only be 3.5-point favorites. This is a trap, folks. Minnesota letdown. LA Rams trying to right their ship for the season. Take the Rams in a must-win. Loving the points here, plus the 3.5. Next game, Tennessee and Detroit. Well, as I said last week, I'm done with Tennessee games. They fucked me royally twice already this season. And you know what they say, fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. Last week, I hope the Bills pummeled their asses, and they did just that. I hope the same scenario plays itself out here, and Detroit pummels their asses also. Although, I will admit, this isn't the best spot for the Lions. It's a ton of points. Could be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Lions here in this one. But I'm not going to tell you to take Tennessee. I'm just saying. If you know what I mean. Next game, Baltimore and Cleveland. And right away again, here we go. Our second of 5 Money 5 selections. So I want to talk about this piece of shit, Deshaun Watson, who finally had what was coming to him. You all know what I'm talking about. You all know what I've been saying for the entire season. Saying he's the worst quarterback to start the season next to Bryce Young. and more than likely both would be benched sooner than later. Well, sure enough, Bryce Young got benched. And then I definitely thought Watson would be next. Shirley was playing right into that benching that should have happened. But problem is the Cleveland Brown management, their pride and ego got in the way. And they couldn't swallow their mistake of contracting this guy in the first place. I mean, this fool, soon to be felon, I mean, what were they thinking? Well, as karma would have it, it didn't matter as the justice gods took over and spanked his ass while crying all the way into the ER. Oh, cry me a river, Deshaun. You overrated, overpaid numbskull. Not to mention woman-ass abuser. You got what was coming to you. Be lucky it's not a jail cell rather than an ER room. And again, be careful to all the nurses, to all you nurses out there that have to wash this pervert's ass every day. My God. What a joke this guy is. The joke of the league, to say the least. And hang on a second, I have to mention this. What was with Myles Garrett's comments after the game? Did you guys hear this? He was defending this motherfucker, saying, what? Did I hear this right? Quote, he's a model citizen on and off the field. What? Did you just say? I'm absolutely unequivocally flabbergasted, to say the least, by these comments. Shocked to my core. Are you friggin' kidding me? Have you not turned on the news in the last 5 years, Myles Garrett? Holy fuck. I'm speechless. Deshaun Watson had what's coming to him. And if the Cleveland Brown management wasn't going to do something about it, surely the justice gods did. And I knew they would. So good luck to you, buddy. As for the game, I have just received info from my inside source that Jameis Winston will be starting. I thought with him last week still being on the sidelines once Watson went down, that he might not start in this one. I thought maybe the Cleveland Browns were tanking. And we're saying, hey, that's it. Season's over. White towels in the flag. Or in the ring. On the field. We're done. But that's not the case maybe with Winston starting here. Or at very least, now that Watson's gone, they don't care. They probably don't think they're going to win this game anyways, but it's a smart thing to put Winston in here. I love that. That's exactly what I've been waiting for. Mark my words now. This will be the best game the Browns have played all season. The defense will step it up with the rival division leaders in town, and I expect the offense to look like a completely different team under Winston. So by the extra half point, let's take this up from 9.5 to 10 and take the Browns to cover this huge spread at home. This will be the best game they played all season. I'll say it again. Mark my words. You're going to see a different Browns team. This is exactly what this team needed. They are a completely different looking offense under Jameis Winston. They will get up for this game. They don't want to embarrass themselves at home against the Baltimore rival Ravens. I expect a huge performance. It'll probably come down to a field goal within a touchdown for sure. I love this game. I'm not going to take the Browns many times, but this is the spot to take them. My second of 5 Money 5 selections, Cleveland Browns plus the 10. Next game, Green Bay and Jacksonville. This one I don't really like, to be honest with you. Green Bay is coming off a big win against the Texans on a last-second field goal. They've won 3 straight, and they've been at home now for 5 out of their first 7 games. So this is only their 3rd road game of the season. Jacksonville are back from their 2-week stint in the UK. They're home away from home. And they've got a little bit of momentum off that win. So nothing really stands out to me in this one. I'm not even sure I have an opinion, to be honest with you. I see the total, though, nearly at 50. Seems a bit high, especially when you consider a bit of a letdown for Green Bay here in this one. And that UK stint being 2 weeks for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that time difference and all that should be something to consider there for them to get back to a normal time zone state of mind. I'll give you a small lean on the under. I definitely think that's a little too high. Let's go under this 49.5 as a small lean on this selection. Next game, Indianapolis and Houston. Well, right off the bat, I can't believe these Colts are 4-3 to start the season, especially with Richardson under the helm. I mean, he's an average young quarterback at best who doesn't look like he's going to be a star like a few of the pundits projected him to be. Houston, on the other hand, they fell short to Green Bay last week, so I think they'll rebound here, and I believe they'll be able to do it by at least a touchdown. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. These two teams have been known to play close games over the years. So it's just going to be a very small lean on Houston, minus the 5.5. I really have nothing more to throw on that one. Next game, Arizona and Miami. And here we go with our 3rd of 5 Money 5 selections. So my inside source also tells me that Tua will be back for this one. And even though I don't agree with it, hey, I'm not a doctor, but after all the concussions this guy has had, I think he should have at very least, just taken the rest of the year off. Enjoyed time with his family and had enough time to reflect and thoroughly reevaluate his situation. I mean, he's getting paid handsomely enough to do so. Why not just chill and figure it out? Think about it. I mean, pros and cons. Go through everything. You surely haven't had enough time to do so just yet. I think he's nuts, actually, to be playing again. At least this early. It just seems too early, doesn't it? I mean, hey, to each their own, as they say. He's a big boy, and if his family approves, and that's the agreement they've made, then so be it. May, God bless him, and hopefully this isn't going to happen to him again. So, with that in mind, how can we not like Miami in this spot? I know the argument's going to be he's going to be a little bit rusty, and he might be, but they're playing Arizona. And they're playing Arizona at home. I mean, if they are going for it, which looks like they probably are then, going to try to make the playoffs here, right ship and turn this season around, then you absolutely have to beat weaker teams like the Arizona Cardinals, who, by the way, are coming off a short week. So I'm going to look at this as like a gifted line that we're getting. And not only that, at what, 2.5? We could take it down to the money line. So this is an absolute bargain with Tua. You would have never got a line with him if he was healthy and throughout the whole season thus far playing. I mean, the line would have been what, 5.5? Let's take advantage. My 3rd of 5 Money 5 selections on the Miami Dolphins. If he's at least decent, Tua and the Dolphins get the job done here. Next game, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Well, right off the bat, I have to say, what a numbfuck this Todd Bowles, coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks, is. I mean, you left Godwin in the game in garbage time. Okay, yes, Tampa Bay was making the score look closer than the game really was, and technically there's this very small, less than 1% chance maybe you could have tied the game up with some extraordinary luck, let's say. But bro, you had no chance, in my opinion. I think you know that. We all know that. And you already lost Evans earlier in the game to top it all off with a hamstring injury. So what are you doing? Live for another day. You need Godwin moving forward. He has to become your number one receiver while Evans is gone. I mean, you really need to be smoking some serious crack to risk Godwin in that position, in that spot, in garbage time. And now because of it, the moron that you are, Todd Bowles, you don't have any of them. Any of your two top receivers. Now what? You're going to be forced to run the ball here in this one. That's your only chance. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the other side of the ball, you've got Atlanta, who they're catching off a loss. So I don't see how you can bet on Tampa Bay here. I mean, I get it. Sometimes when these things happen, you kind of want to go with the team that just lost their star players. They're going to be inspired. They're going to play better. They're going to step it up because they know they have to in order to be able to compete. And most of the time, you should go with that team. But Evans and Godwin are so huge for Tampa Bay. It's most of their offense. And to be honest with you, if Evans and Godwin didn't go down, it probably would have went with Tampa Bay here in this spot, as it's a nice revenge spot for losing to Atlanta just a few weeks back. And it's very hard to beat teams twice in the NFL in the same season. I get all that, but I just can't bet on Tampa Bay here without those two players. I just can't. I mean, it's not like they always come out and win in this spot, these teams that lose star players like that. Yeah, it's a good bet usually, but I just think that two star players like this is too much. Maybe one, but not two. I'm going to lean with the Falcons on this one. Take them on the money line. Next game, the New York Jets and New England Patriots. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go to the well again with the New York Jets. There's no denying that this team is pissing me off. I lost with them last week on the Money 5. But I'm going to give them one more shot here. Give them the benefit of the doubt that they can put this all together and right the ship. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are going to have another week now to put some cohesiveness into their game, get that chemistry back of the Packer days. It will return. They're catching the crap Patriots here, coming off the overseas game in the UK. And let's face it, New England's in a world of hurt. They even got crushed by the shit Jaguars last week. Come on. How bad is your football team when the Jags, who only won their second game, crushed you? So even though I'm not crazy about this touchdown line, this is the only way to go in this game, in my opinion. Jets are due for a breakout game. It's coming. And if it's not going to come against a team like New England, then maybe it won't come at all. This is an absolute must-win on top of it off for the Jets. I believe they finally put a good game together. Cover the spread. We'll even buy it down to 6.5, and all they have to do then is win by a touchdown. I see them at least doing that. Come on. 7-10 here should be the absolute minimum. If not, then the Jets continue to be in the world of hurt themselves. And I don't think they're even going to make the playoffs then. So this needs to be a big win. It's not going to be a money 5 or a huge selection, but we'll take the Jets, take it down to 6.5 and lay it with them. Next game, Philadelphia and Cincinnati. This is my 4th of 5 money 5 selections. Okay, so I love the Bengals here, folks. After an 0-4 start to this season, you are starting to see them right the ship. They've got 2 straight wins now, and I believe this will be the breakout win that they need to start making a run back into playoff contention. Yeah, Philly has won 2 straight, I know, and 3 of their last 4. But folks, who have they beat? The 2-win Giants? The 1-win Browns? And the 2-win Saints? Whoopie the fuck do? And who has their only loss been to? A decent Tampa Bay team? Now they get their toughest opponents to date on back-to-back road games? What have the Eagles shown us to make you think they are the right play here? Nothing. I love the Bengals here. They find a way to get it done on the money line. Again, on the money line. And this, again, is my 4th of 5 money 5 selections. Next game, Buffalo and Seattle. All right, so Metcalf should be out here for this one, which means I'm going to lean on Buffalo. Metcalf is everything to Seattle, and now they're going to have to go through the playbook and get ready for this one without scripted plays for him. Buffalo was an average team to me before they picked up Amari Cooper, but now I believe they're above average team, an upper echelon team that can possibly compete for the Super Bowl if these two start gelling together like Allen and Diggs did back when Diggs was with the Bills. So this could very well be a Super Bowl contender. These are the types of games the Bills need to win in order for that to happen. I like them in this spot. If Metcalf was playing, I might have went the other way, but I like Buffalo here on the money line. Really have nothing more to add on this one. I just think these two teams are headed in different directions. Buffalo is going to make the playoffs, will compete. Seattle, I think, will die out and probably won't make the playoffs. It'll be close, but Buffalo, if they want to contend again, if they want to have a Super Bowl run, they need to beat Seattle without Metcalf in this one. Take them on the money line. Next game, New Orleans and the LA Chargers. Well, this is a tough line. Saints off extended rest, while LA on a short week. And we also haven't received word if Carr is playing or not for New Orleans, which makes this nearly an impossible game to cap. So here's my opinion. If Carr starts, take the Saints. It's a lot of points. The Saints season will be on the line, and LA doesn't really have anything here to tell me that they could cover that big spread with Carr. So they're definitely not worthy of being a touchdown favorite, let's face it. On the other hand, if Carr doesn't start, then I'll have a slight lean on LA, and we'll buy it down to -7. But that's my only recommendation this one. It really comes down to if Carr starts or not. So keep that in mind once we get an official word on his status. Next game, Chicago and Washington. All right, so this is another one I can't cap. I mean, without knowing if Jaden Daniels is playing or not. He's the main reason for this franchise's resurgence. And I would be guessing on any sort of a cap beyond him playing. Plus, I don't trust Caleb Williams on the road yet. Yes, he's won in the UK, but that was a neutral field game, and there were a ton of Bears fans there, so not going to read into that win more than I need to. It sure would be nice to have our first showdown between these two rookie superstar quarterbacks, but I don't know if that will happen yet or not. My suggestion is to get on board as a client here, folks of mine, and you can check back with me on Sunday morning for any further updates in this regard and possibly any late released info on this game. It's very important that if you want to take that next step as a professional investor in sports betting, that you're a client of mine, you can reach out to me via email at sportsgamblingphenom@gmail.com. Again, that's sportsgamblingphenom@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Twitter, X, at sports_phenoms. Next game, Kansas City and Vegas. Fuck, do I hate to have to do this, folks. But my nearly 30 years of experience already knows what the sharp play is on this game. Are you ready to vomit? Yes, it's the shit Vegas Raiders. Why, you ask? Well, for one, this will be one of only a few games this season where you'll get a home dog of 10 or more. And Vegas, as shit as they are, the train wreck that they are, the Devontae Adamless Raiders that they are, all of that and more will be playing Kansas City. It's the Super Bowl. And at very least, keep this one close. Remember in Arrowhead Stadium a few years back what the Raiders did? Beat them outright? They were running around the stadium afterwards. That's how big of a deal it is to the Raiders to beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying it's going to happen outright, though it could. Stranger things have happened in this scripted NFL soap opera world. Now, I hate it. Not going to bet it. But it's my job as the professional, experienced champion handicapper that I am to tell you what the right way to go is. And that is Vegas in this spot plus the 10. Next game, Carolina and Denver. OMG. This game just wants to make me vomit. Can't trust taking Denver laying these kind of points. And how can you possibly trust the Panthers showing up for any game at this point? Especially in the high altitude of Denver, Colorado. So this line smells like a toss-up. And as much as I'd like to at least give you an opinion, I'm not one to force a pick. So this is a rare one that I'm just going to pass on. Next game, Dallas and San Francisco. And here we go, folks. This is my 5th of 5 Money 5 selections. Now, immediately on this one, I know the public and their grandmothers are going to be all over the Cowboys. America's team coming off a bye after getting crushed by Detroit 47-9 in the week prior. Added this is especially going to be a favorable spot for the Cowboys considering all the injuries the Niners currently have. Well, folks, let me tell you, I didn't become a world champion handicapper by thinking and betting like the public. The play here is on the 49ers. Do you think the bye is going to fix this dreadful Cowboys team? A team that has allowed an embarrassing 168 points over 6 games. That's 28 points allowed a game. And 3 of those 6 games have been against bottom feeders. In the Browns, the Saints, the Giants. The only quality teams they have played are Baltimore and Detroit, and they lost both of them. I don't care how injured the 49ers are. Dallas sucks balls. And San Francisco cannot afford another loss. Plus, you think Vegas odd makers are stupid enough to open with San Fran in this spot, with all things considered, at -5? Now, of course, the public's brought it down to 3.5. That's great. No problem. That's the kind of line movement that I love and I wait for. And now we're going to take advantage. No way fucking Vegas is that fucked up to gift you a line on Dallas that easy. Fuck no. No chance. Take San Francisco. Buy it down to 3. We're getting a gift now. We've moved the line 2 points. We let the public do the 1.5 for us. We're doing the other half. And this is your final of 5 Money 5 selections. Next game, and now we're down to the final matchup of the week. New York Giants and Pittsburgh. Okay, so first, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a believer in this Russell Wilson move just yet. Did I say this would eventually happen? Yes. Did Tomlin make the right call? Yes. So much so, I wouldn't be surprised to see Fields traded. Yeah. I'm hearing. My little birdies in the industry are letting me know that this is a possibility. However, there is no way I'm jumping in on this Russell Wilson bandwagon just yet. Russell played a good game. Got to give it to him. No doubt about that. Better than I thought he was going to be. Probably one of his best games since his Seahawks days, in all honesty. But for the love of God, how lucky were some of those barnyard loft moon throws that bounced off defenders? What, fingers, arms, helmets? You name it. And somehow landed in the receiver's hands. It was laughable, to be honest with you. Just meant to be, I guess, for him in Pittsburgh in that game. And I get it. Those throws look pretty on TV. Perfect spirals at that. But hey, folks, I guarantee those types of passes are going to lead to more incompletes and even some interceptions over the long term. Mark my words on that. Now, I know the Giants aren't going to be a popular pick here, but I smell a huge public play where everyone and their grandmothers, maybe even great-grandmothers on this one, will be all over penning money lines and teasers. I mean, you think Vegas books don't know that? Everything's going to come down to this play on those money line and parlays and teasers from weekend games. So, folks, don't you think then, with them knowing that's the case, that they're baiting you here? Learn from me. I will teach you the script that is the NFL soap opera. It's scripted and soap opera that way, folks. I've been telling you this. And every game that Wilson plays, he's going to get worse. And he's going to fall into bad habits. You're betting on him to have the same performance he had last week. What makes you think he's going to do that? Then you're going to say, well, how do I know that? Well, because we saw it in Denver. It's just a matter of time before it starts happening here again. He got away with it last week. Again, those pretty spirals that you saw that rebounded off helmets, arms, and fingers, he's not going to be able to get away with every single week in and week out. Well, maybe he'll get away with enough again in this one to get the win. I mean, the Giants aren't anything, to be scared of. And they should be able to pull out this win. But the spread is a trap. Take the Giants, buy it up to 7.5, and laugh all the way to the bank while the public bettors wonder how you're doing it. The Giants, the trap play. Okay, now to recap, it's time for my Money 5 selections. I'll repeat all of them to you here once again. Let's continue to make big money on these plays, the ones that I make my bread and butter on. Here we go. First one was the Thursday nighter on the LA Rams plus 3.5. Then I gave you a game that should shock the football world this weekend, Cleveland plus 10. Not saying they're going to win outright, but hey, sprinkle a little on it. Why not? I wouldn't be surprised. Cleveland plus the 10 to keep it close against the Ravens. Next pick I gave you was Miami. We're being gifted this line, and we're taking it all the way down now to the money line because of all the movement. That works right in our favor. We would have never got a line like that with him playing throughout the season. Take Tua in Miami on the money line. Next selection will be Cincinnati. This is a huge game for them. They want to show the world that they could beat a big team, big name team like Philadelphia. This will right the ship and really start turning this season around for the Bengals. They are traditional slow starters, as we know, and it's games like this in previous years that have made and turned the season around for them. So, again, officially Cincinnati on the money line. And finally, our last selection, the one you're going to make all the public bettors pissed about. You're laughing all the way to the bank. And that's on San Francisco. I don't give a rat's ass that the Cowboys had that bye week. They suck. And San Fran is the better team and will find a way to win. They can't afford another loss. San Francisco lay the 3, and these are your championship picks. My top Money 5 selections for week number. So that'll do it for another week. I am the Phenom, wishing you all an amazing week ahead. Let's get this money. See ya.